Welcome back to Nick Just Comic Corner, Classics slash Non-Classics, episode number 1077 and Doubleshot number 971. Yeah, it's been about a month since I did the last one of these. And last time was basically a couple Thor trades. Yep. Now, in case you're wondering why haven't I done one basically in about a month, because I haven't had trades review. That's simple just of it. But now I do. Okay? Got two Thor trades for you, both by Jason Aaron. First up, it is The Mighty Thor, Volume 5, The Death of the Mighty Thor. Yep, this collects The Mighty Thor issues 700 to 706 and Mighty Thor, The Gates of Valhalla, the one shot. Yes, everything in here is written by Jason Aaron. Artwork by, and this of course in issue 700, several different artists. Walt Simonson, great to see this guy in the book again. Matthew Wilson, Russell Derman, Derman and Wilson. I don't know what that is. Deo Kuna, James Heron, Dave Stewart, Becky Cohen, and Stewart. I don't know. Cohen and Stewart's really weird. Das Peritos, Chris Burnham, Ive Serena, Andrew McCullen, Stewart, Jill Thompson, Mike Del Mundo, Oliver Capote, and Stewart. Yeah, it's weird. For 700, I think it's like Dave Stewart. 701 is done by James Heron. 1776 is basically Russell Dermott, who's basically the main artist in here. And for the one-shot, Gates of Valhalla, it's done by Ramon Perez and Jen Perel. The cover art for issue 700 705 is done by Russ Derman. Of course, he has also issue 706, but he co-draws issue 700 705 with Matthew Wilson. Gates of Valhalla is done by Nick Durrington. Yep. Yeah, we had the return of the Marvel Legacy numbering for 7 issues. Yep. They bring this thing back to its legacy numbering in 2017, and they restarted number 1 right after the storyline. Yep, they did. Why? Because Marvel felt like doing another restart for this damn series. I mean, we had just had a relaunch of this thing 2 years prior. Why the heck we have another one for? No idea. But okay, what's the story for this one? It's basically this. First, you have the awesome 700th issue, which, by the way, when it was released, I believe this was about 2 years ago, $6. That's how much it cost. Unlike, let's say, Amazing Spider-Man 800, which was $10. Why the heck this was $10? No idea. At least Jason Aaron basically is know how to do a big triple digits, make it double size, having multiple artists on it. Fantastic. A few different stories with their 700 issue. One, you have the female Thor, Jane Foster, versus She-Hulk. This, I think, is a brilliant stroke of genius on Jason Aaron's part because, after all, Hulk and the male Thor followed each other for years, especially back in the 60s. So this makes perfect sense for them to do. And because this is when She-Hulk was Gray She-Hulk for her Hulk title, done by Makao Takagi, I think it's how you pronounce the woman's name. Yeah, she did the Hulk title, and they did the she did X-23. Yeah, which I was with the basically converted Wolverine for 3 years. I still think it's a stupid idea. Hate converted that particular. Yeah. So that's loose time going along with that. And in case you wonder what was on with that, the reason why she was gray is because what happened in the events of Civil War II when the Hulk died and a lot of gamma radiation went to her. Yeah, a lot of it. So it turned her gray, though he had little streaks of green. And apparently whenever Jonathan Walters turned into Shield, actually physically hurt her. Luckily enough that when restored to Turbo Division numbering, thanks to I think it was like issue 155, I think it was, the leader fixed that in story, put her back basically being green, and kind of restored number though Jason kind of regressed that a bit. Yeah. We also have King Thor in the future. Yeah, his is a minor backup, kind of like a meanwhile in the future where he fights like he sees like death of a like the new Jane, the one who started the new human race. We see death of the future Galactus, who gets just eaten by Ego, who Ego himself is defeated by Loki. Yes, Loki, who becomes Noki the God Slayer for some reason. I don't know why, but it's really good. Though he does come back in another storyline. Yep. And we also have Volstagg becoming the War Thor again, just for a few issues, though he gives up right away. Yeah. Now the thing is, I'm not really sure why Jason Aaron decided to give the Ultimate Thor's hammer to Volstagg. It's a particularly very strange concept, but yeah. It's only done briefly in here, and you also see return of, I kid you not, Frog Thor! Yes, thank you. Bring this thing back. It's so funny you brought this thing back. Yeah, it was during a period of time when Thor turned into a frog. Though apparently that became its own separate character for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird. Hmm. Yep. We also have. Let's see. What else I have in here? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, we also have a return of Mongog. Yes. A very old villain. Oh my. Okay. The writer of the She-Hulk book. Her name is the one who was originally Hulk and She-Hulk, is Mariko Tamakaki. They pronounce the whole name. Hmm. Let's see if I can find out. Like, I know he's an old like Jack Kirby, Jack. I'm trying to think. Like prior stories, this is not apparent. Like something that for the line that okay, let's have like bring back a villain that people may or may not heard of before. Yep. First appearance back in Thor 54, and his last appearance in the storyline was in wow, the second volume of Thunderstrike, which I think was published back in like 2008. I think it was. Let me look up because another like that was a appearance. Wasn't that very many series? I was very curious of who the heck is Thunderstrike. He's a character who made his day really with Thor briefly, and then got his own separate hammer and he became Thunderstrike. He's more like an extremist version of Thor. Yeah. Yeah, it was back in 2010. So when he made his return for this very story, first time in about 8 years he last appeared, which is great. And the first thing he does, goes straight to Asgard, fights Heimdall, blinds him, breaks Bifrost, beats the crap out of live Asgardians. It's thanks to Jane Foster who drags Odin out of his stupid, drag him out of the bedroom in order to basically take over leadership of Asgard. And his brother, who has been terrible at his job as being leader of Asgard in Odin's absence, yeah, calls him out for how freaking coward he is, and that's when he comes out. And he basically is all belly aching about the whole female Thor thing, and that's when Frigga shows up, still ill. Yeah, the reason why she's like this because she got stabbed in the back by her own adopted son Loki. Yep. And then of course they had to go basically prepare for battle against well Mogog. Eventually, Jane Foster first she stops being female Thor for a while, and then she takes up back at the mantle for this one last time. Even though that every time basically she turns into female Thor, it slowly kills her. But just one last time to defeat Mogog, she just Mjolnir to it and it was straight to freaking sun. Bye Mogog. But then Jane Foster dies. Yep, she dies. we also see a flashback that technically she was responsible for all this going on in story. Yeah, she was the one. Now, it was implied that Frege was the one who was actually responsible for making the female Thor being Jane Foster. But it was Jane Foster herself who started all this. We also have what Jane Foster in the female Thor form takes the helmet and makes out with Thor one more time. Because they used to be lovers back in the 60s. Yep. And then she goes to the gates of Valhalla with Brunhilde, which, by the way, this is referenced in another story, which we'll get to. And she decides not to go, and she, of course, she comes back, and then she goes to cancer, and she goes back to chemo. And Thor gets back, he gets back the ability to become God of Thunder again, the original Thor, but he's still unworthy. Yep. And of course, the one shot basically just explains what happened afterwards. Yeah. But this, of course, is fantastic. Love this story. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Yep. Point out that this trade is really thick. Yeah. Containing 8 issues. Well, 7 issues in the main Thor book plus a one shot. Next up, we have the relaunch from Fresh Start. We have Thor Volume 1, God of Thunder Reborn. Now, we got a brand new artist in it. Still Jason Aaron. We have Mike Del Mundo taking over as the artwork, as the regular artist in this book. Now, this technically is not the first book that Mike Del Mundo has worked with Jason Aaron on. Now, I never met the guy, but the last book I can think of prior to this particular book that he did, where he worked with Jason Aaron on a book, was back in with Weird World during Secret Wars. Yeah, because Jason Aaron wrote the first volume of the series. The second volume was done by Sam Humphries. Yep. That was the first comic I saw Mike Del Mundo on. The second one was Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers comic when it was simply known as simply Avengers after Civil War 2. Yeah, he basically drew that entire run. Yeah, and this is by far the third book I've seen him on. He's by far one of the current new generation artists, and I gotta say, the guy does a damn good job. What's the story in this one? Yeah. That Thor basically still doesn't get a millionaire, but he got a new arm, a golden arm, and he pretty much has basically gone back to what he was doing before, back to business. Oh yeah, and he's not living Asgard anymore. Nope. It's revealed in these issues that, with the exception of Odin, all the Asgardians, exception for Odin and Heimdall, have all left Asgard because they cannot stand Odin and his bullcrap he's basically pulled recently. So they abandoned their leader. Yeah, they abandoned the All-Father for the All-Mother. Yeah, and they go live in an apartment building. Oh yeah, and it's also the Rosa had to sell off her flying car and it'll pay for this building. Yep, and where does Thor live? On a boat. Yep, a boat. Why a boat? I actually have no idea. It's not really explained of why he's on a boat for, but it's great though he's back being, back his normal self. Still unworthy per se, but yeah, he also goes to, the recurring joke is basically how many hammers can he use in an issue. Yeah, basically gotta be a bad guys, gets Warlock's eye. What the heck this is, I don't know what it is, because I never heard of it. I highlight that with the eye of Adam Warlock. It's probably a different Warlock. He goes back home with Thori, his dog. Previously, the dog was owned by Loki. This character was created by Kieran Gillian when he wrote the Journey to Mystery series, when Loki was the star of that book. Yep. And then pretty much like he helps him with a problem, and he helps him with Malekith. Yeah. By the way, this book here is basically sort of setting up the War of the Realms story, which I'll get to that in my next review. Yep. And Loki sends Thor to Niflheim, the home of Hela, though it was basically ruled by Angela. Yep. Where's Angela in this whole storyline? That's a good question, because the storyline never answers of where the heck she is throughout this entire storyline. Yeah, it's particularly a little weird. Now, Mike Dimon does the first 4 issues here, and the last couple issues are done by Kristen Ward. But Kristen Ward also does the King Thor story. Yep. So they go to Niflheim and have a team with Hela to get back her realm. Then they run into Bold of the Brave. Yep. The Queen of Nethers. who's basically his girlfriend. Yeah, in case you're wondering why Boulder the Brave is basically Thor's brother, when for years, like, you have to read JMS's Thor run, which of course is really good, highly recommended. Yeah, this was explained by Loki when he was taking Sif's body for a joyride for a long time for no reason. Yep. So, yeah. So it was revealed basically when Boulder briefly became the leader of Asgard that he was going to be a son of Odin. Why the heck was this kept a secret for so long? I have no idea. And of course, well, we also have a brief union with Tyre. Now, as for how he got into the afterlife, I have no idea. Now, prior to this storyline, the last time I physically saw this guy, was back in During the Mystery. Yeah, that was last time he physically. I think he did show up for the Angela Queen of Hell series, but that ended back in 2016. This came out just last year. This was the first time in 2 years we see Tyre, the God of War, and he's also Thor's older brother. Yep. And they help Hela basically kind of in a way. They kind of fight Hela over who rules Niflheim. Hela gets a crown back, and well, she attempts to marry one of the Odin brothers, and then she doesn't get married, but to the Queen of the Queen of Nethers. Why the heck we have a lesbian wedding? I have no idea. Well, at least we have a wedding. Yep. And we also have Thanos pops up in here. Yes, Thanos in a Thor comic. As far as I know, I've read a lot of Thor issues since I'm reading comics the past 15 years. I have never seen him pop up. Now, he did pop up in the pages of Unworthy Thor, but the main book, I don't think he's ever shown up here before. No, I don't think he ever has, which is quite weird for him. I mean, this is Thanos. He mostly pops up in cosmic books or Avengers. I mean, yes, he popped up Iron Man, but that was once, back in his debut appearance. After that, he never returned to Iron Man ever again. He's popped up in other cosmic books, but Thor? No, not that I could think of. The only reason why I think they probably threw him in here because he was going to feature Infinity War anyway, so why not make appearance in the book he's never appeared before? And plus, also, Infinity War, he was the first superhero he fought. Excuse me. And so he teams up with Hela, and then she breaks up with her to deal with. And here's the thing: the reason I broke up her in story was so he could deal with what was going on in Infinity Wars. Yep, that's the whole purpose of this. Was to end this relationship, which started back with the Infinity War miniseries, and ended here. And basically, Thor kind of revived his dead brother. He also brought back Scourge. Yes, the Executioner, a character who's been dead since the 80s. Yeah, Walt Simonson killed him toward the end of his run by saving a bunch of refugees, which is kind of what happened to him in Thor Ragnarok. Oddly enough, in case you're wondering, has Boulder ever appeared in any Marvel movie? The answer is no. He's actually one of two characters who he never has. The other is the Enchantress. And I'm like, really? I would have thought the Enchantress appeared at some point. Her sisters made appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not the Enchantress. Nope. Yep. So, they return with Boulder revived. And, of course, we have sort of a... It's not printed in here, but there's a backup story, issue 5, where... Excuse me. It sets up the short-lived as Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep, I say short-lived because the book got canceled after only releasing 10 issues. It was a really comic that Marvel just did not care to promote, and the book got canceled 10 issues. My guess is it probably got canceled due to low sales. Yeah. But that's something quite weird, though, when it comes to almost any time Marvel attempts to have a spin-off ongoing series for one of his characters who gets their own book, keeps getting canceled. I don't know why. It's particularly very weird. I'm thinking I forgot something for this book here. Let me look it up. I think there was one thing I forgot that happened in this book, right? Was it in here? I think it was a couple things I forgot. One that the Thor's granddaughters got a chance to meet Jane Foster. That was quite nice. I think it may happen in here where they actually have Hercules pop up in here briefly, and he's wearing the outfit that Dan Abnett basically, well, the artist who drew his ongoing series gave in that book. Yep, and then that particular story ends with Thor, the main one, ends in issue 5, where he just goes back to his boat, and Loki takes him from him. There's no, aside from his beer, he doesn't know what he took from him. So yeah, that particular part of the story is never resolved here. Yes. Issue 6 is all about King Thor. Present-day Thor is nowhere in the issue. Yep. So, in this one, basically, he fights, well, a version of Old Man Logan. In the future, he's basically a Phoenix Force and Doctor Doom, which defeats both of them. Well, he defeats Doctor Doom per se, but I don't think this sets up basically for later for this one. Yeah, this is the one that has Loki, the God Butcher, the All Butcher, shows up in here. It wasn't this one here, but yeah, that was a storyline that kind of started here, but this kind of continues the whole thread of King Thor, which later on King Thor got his own miniseries, done by Jason Aaron, which I've read the first couple of issues, is really good so far. As for this story as a whole, really good, a really good start for this new volume. I thoroughly enjoy it. I give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Really good. Yep. And I'm looking forward to getting my hands on Volume 2 whenever I get a chance. Even this stuff came out back in July. Yeah, it came out 5 months ago. And for some reason I didn't see it at Barnes & Noble. I saw this one, but not Volume 2 for some strange reason. Yeah, I thought that was weird. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular view. My next view is going to be talking about 2 more Thor trades. So these are 2 Thor-related trades. One by Jason Aaron, the other by 4 writers. Yep. I'll discuss that next comic book. But next video I'm going to do will be a review of the newest episode of My Hero Academia, okay? See you next video. Bye.